Hello, welcome to the live stream. It looks like we are effectively live, so I hope we are. Also, my iPad is over there and it's being cursed in that, like, it is away and supposed to be off, but somehow is still making noise. So that's really great. Love that for me. Let me know if you're here in the chat. Okay, it looks like we have some folks. Newbold One is here. Hey, why are you not asleep? This live stream is now getting at an increasingly late time for the United Kingdom. But it's great to see you all here. Thank you for tuning in, even though this is later than has been traditional and not the new live stream time anymore. As folks know, I got a new job. Maybe you don't know. I don't know. I got a new job. The job now involves working on the weekends, hosting morning radio. So today I actually did that and then raced up here. It's noon in Portland. I got off the air at 10 a.m. and I could have made 11:30, but I did not want to curse it. So I left myself some time, and Aaron got me the donut for today, luckily, because the donut shop was way closed. Well, there were people in the back, but it was closed when I left for work at 4:30 a.m. So this is the donut, which I'm pretty excited about. It's a old-fashioned donut, which I found I really like, and then it's got lemon chamomile. I didn't know that those were like donut flavors, but let's find out how it goes. That'll be an interesting donut. And then generally, today's live stream is going to be a planner live stream, well, a journaling live stream. I have my traveler's notebook, which is my new acquisition, so to speak. And I have also a stack of stuff that I have not yet put into my travel journal in my traveler's notebook. So I thought we would do that. And then Tuesday starts my usual Tuesday night live streams, which you can remember because I will say see you next Tuesday at the end of every stream, which I'm kind of looking forward to. And that one we will be talking about student loans. So this is just a pure bonus stream, partially because I've just been very busy with the new job, and I got back a week ago and I have not finished filling in this travel journal. Newbold One says, I was admiring that journal during the wait screen. Wait, was it on the screen? I hope it wasn't, but maybe I did it wrong. Or are you thinking about buying it is a question. It is a good looking donut. Possum Planner says, how is the new gig going? It's going well. I do have to read 15 signal IDs, which is like KOPB, FM. I have to read 15 of those every hour. And the most I've had to read legal IDs, because you legally have to read them within a minute of the top of the hour on all radio stations. So I have radio experience, but at most I've had to read 3 signals. But because I now work for the really largest radio broadcaster as far as news broadcaster in Oregon that covers the entire state of Oregon and part of Southwest Washington, we have 15 signal IDs, which is a lot to read off. However, I have been told by the other hosts that it should soon become rote memory, and then it will become a party trick. So Possum says, something pleasant before talking about the crushing reality of student loans. Lol. Yeah, it's, Newbold One says that's more than Brian Lair has. Way more. One of the, things is that we're a real big state, so we gotta have a lot of, physically a large state. We are larger in land area than the whole United Kingdom, so BBC has fewer repeaters to say. And then, Eric says, all the affiliate carrier IDs, we have that on our public radio too. So many repeaters. Yeah, the repeaters, if they are the same legal ID, well, you don't need to read them because we actually have way more dial positions than we do legal IDs, which are like the letters versus the numbers. So like a dial position would be like 91.5. We don't have to read the 91.5 out at the top of the hour. We just have to read the legal IDs, like, you know, KX, VR, FM. And so the reason that ours are so long, and a lot of public radio chooses to make them so long, is because there is a way to automate it where you could essentially pre-record it and then have the individual transmitters for the other stations kind of have a shorter signal ID. That would cost a lot of money for not necessarily a ton of value necessarily. So yeah. Brian Lair is on WNYC. He has like 5. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't listen to their signal IDs for WNYC. I am very sad about the takeaway ending though. Do all the channels hear all the IDs? All the channels hear all the IDs. That's why we have to read so many of them. Like if we were switching between them, then yeah. But the thing that's kind of like different is that we used to do a traffic report. We don't generally do that anymore on the morning news, and there actually is a split ID so that only the Portland Metro would get the traffic report, and that's because, you know, we live in a big state, and a lot of the state doesn't have very much traffic. So New World One says, is it? Oh no, yeah, it's ending in June, I believe. It's kind of a bummer. They've been doing that for like 18 years. All right, we're talking about my job, and we're supposed to be getting on the traveler's train. So let's get on the traveler's train. So I also promised a little bit of a haul. I showed off most of my stuff that I got in Japan on the live stream last week. I guess 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago. But I thought, you know, like I would show you, like, for example, I got this beautiful little Shinkansen Lamy pin. It's the same as this kind of fountain pen, but it is a special edition to match the Shinkansen train, which is currently filled with washi tape, most of which is train themed. So, but I wasn't able to show you the, like, actually writing with it because I didn't want to, before I flew home, actually put the cartridge in. Now that the cartridge is in, I thought we could maybe do a little writing in it. It's just got blue ink in it right now, which is what it came with. This page is something I did on the train, but it's like what I like literally on the metro in Japan, but it's all the things that are in fashion in Japan right now. And this was really good vegan bao buns that I got in Yokohama. And this was the train museum. I showed most of these, and that's how behind I am. I kind of like have pasted a couple things in, but mostly I have a ton of stuff I need to finish. I did my very complicated canceled flight home because that's one of the reasons I didn't live stream last week, was because of my journey home was quite a journey. So let's see what we have to like paste and maybe journal. I've got this Traveler's Factory thing. I went to Kamakura, and this is like a little bag I got for the charms I got. This is a token that I got from the 1,300-year-old temple that I went to. It's supposed to be for ambition. So I'm being blessed by the gods every time I carry around these cute bells. So I thought this might be kind of interesting. We also went to the big Buddha statue, which I guess had been moved from the 1,300-year-old temple. I don't know. This is not that great. So let's see. What else do I have? I have this picture from a magazine that essentially looks like the future, which is kind of what I feel like we're advertised Japan as looking like. This is just one of my to-do lists on the cute little Shinkansen notebook that I did. This is, I think from my bao bun. It's also from my bao bun. Maybe I don't need to save quite so many things from my bao bun. They were really good, though. I did go back and get them. Those are some Budgetober stickers. Okay, this is the Railway Museum. And I definitely want to figure out a way to utilize this. I don't know how, like, cool... I think the rolling stock bit is... I'm not a very artistic journaler, but I endeavor to be, so that's what you're getting. This was a coffee shop, really good coffee shop in our neighborhood in that we were staying at in Yokohama. Okay. We could probably put this here, because this is the Railway Museum. Maybe I'll tip this in. Oh, of course, this is the page that I have my... But I think a tip-in is the way to do this, right? What do we think? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, now let's use one of my rail-themed washi tapes to do this. Apparently I don't remember how to tip things in anymore. I think I have done this enough in my life. Don't cut your cord, Lily. So what did people get up to this week? Do you have better weather where you are? I ended up on my way home getting grounded in O'Hare because of which is Chicago. Alexa just heard me in the other room and went off. I don't know if you heard that, but it was weird. That's weird. So yeah, a bunch of, all the flights in all of the entirety of the O'Hare Airport, like, they went down into, like, emergency lockdown after I'd already, like, flown 12 hours to O'Hare from Haneda Airport, which, like, our flights out were in the evening there, so I had already, like, lived a full day of that Friday. Then went to the airport in Haneda outside Tokyo. Also, the airport, like, had a queue that was so long it was snaked on itself like 6 times. It was very bad. It took forever to get through, and so I was already not, like, in the best mood by the time we got out of the queue. And then there was a tornado in Chicago. So I had like a 4-hour layover, which was good because we were a little bit late coming into O'Hare, and I was like, oh, this is good. So then I decided to go to the United Club, which I actually, like, had paid a small fee for, because right now I don't get access to United Club. Because I don't have it as, like, a perk on any of my cards anymore, because I canceled my my United card that didn't have any. There we go. Is that? I don't know. I don't think I'm doing the most aesthetically pleasing travel journaling, but you know, whatever. Am I great at aesthetic journaling? No. So I paid to get, because I had such a long layover, I was like, I'll pay so that I've got like a nice place to hang out. And then one of the other reasons I paid was because the weather looked real bad. And I was like, what's the chances that my flight gets delayed? Pretty high. So I ended up being like, you know what? I'll get the United Club because that way I get food and you know, this is a good idea. I should do this. This is a great idea. I'm really glad I did do the United Club because essentially what that got me access to was someone who, like, I went to sleep for like half an hour because I was so tired, and I was like, it was thunderstorming when I fell asleep, and I was like, ugh, do you think my flight's gonna be like delayed when I wake up? My half an hour nap was enough for my flight to just be straight up canceled. The thing that was really upsetting to me is that Google alerted me first that my flight was canceled, not the United app. Both of these things that I have installed, Google alerted me first. So I didn't even have like a push notification when I woke up that my entire flight was just canceled. And then the United app was just like, cool, we don't have a way to get you for days between O'Hare and Chicago. And I was like, at first I was looking into like, well, can I fly into Seattle instead, which is about 120-ish miles away. Is that right? It's under 200 miles from Portland. And so, you know, I could take the train, or I could just pay for a Alaska, which is not a regional airline. It isn't a national it's an international airline, but they run a lot of flights because both Seattle and Portland are hubs for them. So they run about every hour a flight between Seattle and Portland, and it's a 25-minute flight. It's a very short flight. So I was like, oh, I'll just on my own, with my own points, do this. And it didn't really feel fair, but I also was flying, but I was flying on a free ticket because I bought the ticket on points. So I kind of was like, oh, beggars can't be choosers, blah, 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 blah. And I was doing this research for myself. And then I finally, you know, when chatting with some other people in the lounge that were dealing with their flights starting to get canceled and the weather was getting worse and worse, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go talk to the folks at the front, because at the very front of the United Club were two like attendants, but they're United employees there. And so they do have like booking abilities and powers in a way that someone at like one of the third-party lounges wouldn't. And since I was flying United, I was like, let's give it a shot. Is this working? What do we think? I could also just put like a photo there. Let's do that. Although it's kind of blocking this. I could cut this. This is like for my little notepad, but so anyway, I went down. They were so lovely, and they were helping me out, and they were able to find way more than the United freaking app could find. Like, what turns out humans are more useful than like algorithms sometimes. They were able to get really creative, and they were like, found me a routing through Denver, and also agreed that it was like unacceptable that I would have to live at the O'Hare airport for several days. And they found me an alternative flight through Denver that night. So right as I had gotten that booked, I was like, man, I am so tired. I'm not going to get into Denver until like 11:30 p.m. because that's what it was looking like at that point. I looked into booking a flight for, or look at booking like an airport hotel at the Denver airport. I was like, even if it's just for a couple hours, because my flight to Portland wasn't until like 3 a.m. that morning or something. Originally, I had looked at staying at the airport hotel at O'Hare, but because so many flights were getting canceled because of the weather, they were just jacking the hell out of the cost of the airport hotel. Like airport hotels are usually not very expensive because they're crappy hotels usually. They're usually like 3-star hotels, not great, maybe 2-star hotels, and their entire purpose is for crews and people that are stranded at the airport. But it was a Hilton in that airport. It was I think a 3 or maybe a 4-star Hilton in the airport, but they were over $300, which is not usually the price that you want to pay. So they were just jacking it up because everybody needed it, and they ended up being completely sold out. You know what? I feel like this is not the worst looking situation. So, but while I was talking with them, one of the security people came over while they were like booking me, looking into other flights for me, finding me a seat, being very sweet and very smart. They, it turns out that they, like, the security person for the this is from the ramen museum, which was very cool and had vegan ramen. There we go. So maybe we'll like tip this in. Where is so this is the one that I had. So I do want that out of there. And we waited in the queue forever at the ramen museum. It's like an hour-long queue to get a bowl of ramen, but darn, it was good, and it was vegan. Okay. So while I was there, security came over and said, "Hey, we're on alert now. We're gonna have to evacuate the club. Like, we're on weather alert." And meanwhile, everybody in the like clubs, like phones were going off with emergency alerts, like including mine, but they were all like on different area codes and countries and stuff. So everybody was getting pinged at a slightly different time, but everybody's phones were like blaring the emergency warning. And because of that, they had to like come and shut down the entire club, and they had to kick everybody out and send everybody out into the hall. So I like went out, I got like a slightly more advanced warning that they were evacuating the club. So after I had gotten my boarding passes printed for my flight, I like ran upstairs and grabbed as many snacks as I could. It was pretty obvious to me that that like things were not going well when I arrived at the United Club, because like the weather was so bad. I mean, it was like serious lightning. A lot of flights were already getting grounded, and it was like clear to me that the likelihood of my flight getting canceled, well, I actually thought it would be delayed, not canceled, was pretty high, because at one point the whole television station got knocked out. Like there was no TV playing at the bar at the club, and I was just sort of like, yeah, this is not going well. It's not looking good for your heroes, right? So anyway, it wasn't looking great for any of us, and then we all had to go out into the hallway. Everyone in the entire airport, like every single flight was grounded, and we had to go into the emergency like severe weather hallway, which was just like a random hallway that we could stand in. And it was like just filled with people like on the phones trying to find like a place to stay because their flights were canceled. Like everybody was on the phone. There was a guy next to me And I was trying to book like an airport hotel at Denver at this point because I still had like held out hope that I was gonna make it to Denver that night. I was like, I'm gonna make it to Denver. I hope. And so I there was a guy next to me trying to find a government rate room for like 4 people. I don't know. It's probably already gotten bigger in my head in the week since. But there was a guy next to me that was trying to find a government rate room despite every flight in Chicago, despite like every flight being canceled. And I was just like, oh, you poor thing. And I was listening to him make calls, and he was giving up on his government rate requests towards the end of looking for a room because everybody was trying to book rooms. And there was a guy next to me who had a like duty free bag that was very clear that he had like come from Asia. I can't remember what it was, but it was very clear that it was a duty free bag from Asia just to me. And I was like, oh, can I, like, I was like, oh, you must have come from far away too. Because a lot of people there were, you know, had not been up for 40 hours or 37 hours or whatever like I had at that point. Because I had, like, barely slept on the plane. And I was like, oh, he had some sympathy. And it turned out he wasn't super confident in English. And so I was able to help him. And he was like, I don't know what to do. Like, my flight got canceled. He was more confident in English than I would have been in Japanese. But it turned out he had also come from Tokyo. And he needed help. So I was able to, like, take him down to the little... I don't know what I'm doing with where I'm putting this ramen, you guys. I don't want to cover up the cat. That's, like, the very important part. I think it's got to go there. I don't want to cover up the cat. Cat's very important. And I ended up helping him out, like, getting to the United desk once we had the all clear and we were able to go. But seeing how slammed that United desk was, partially because Chicago is a United hub, and because of that, there were, like, way more people waiting at a United desk than anywhere else. So there were tons of people at the United Club, and it really reinforced to me that my, like, the $50 or whatever I paid on that club were absolutely worth it, because I may not have been able to get on to that Denver flight. So we were only locked down, I want to say, for like half an hour, where everybody had to stay in these like hallways. There were a bunch of employees that had like left their, because it was like around, I want to say 9-ish at that point. There were a bunch of employees that like were done at like food service jobs in the airport and stuff, and weren't allowed to leave because the official National Weather Service like warning was that you were not allowed to travel by any methods because there were like up to 90-mile-per-hour winds. And so there were all these people that like had to come into the hallway that like just wanted to go home for the evening. And then of course all these travelers like me that were like stranded because their flights were... I guess it was right before 9 p.m. because the United Club closed at 9 p.m. So they had like, I think 20 minutes left of where they were maybe going to restore service or whatever. But all of the electricity was out. So like all of the escalators were out. So it felt like the electricity was out in a bunch of places, like, and it was like running off backup electricity. So it was super bizarre to just be in there at all. It was like very strange. Okay, I made a little ramen museum. Should I just like a tiny amount of journaling about that? I don't think I need to write too much other than that we waited in line forever. We waited in line for over an hour for our damn ramen. If there was anything that Japan really loves, it is queuing. Aaron says there's a very large disconnect in the vibe of what's happening on screen versus what's being described in the story. Yes, I guess so. I mean, I guess ramen is a lot more lighthearted, huh? Is this the size I want? It is the size I want. Okay. So I'm going to write. Delicious ramen with Daniel and Aaron, but we had to wait in line for over an hour. This one made vegan. There we go. Yeah, so it was a red hot spicy miso ramen. Okay. There we go. I've got my Shinjuku Ramen Museum. And then this is stuff that is trendy in Japan. Queuing is a national pastime in Japan, it feels like. Seriously, I have never stood in quite so many queues in my life, except maybe India. Like, India's really into queues, but the queues are like everybody pushing. And this was just queues, very civil queues. Also, I felt like this is maybe just my, like, not fully understanding what was going on at any time because of the language barriers. So, like, I'm not holding this against anyone. But I will say that there seems to be a lot of overly complicated systems for queuing in Japan. Like, it won't just be stand in this queue. It'll be like, get this thing from a machine first. And then, like, once you have this ticket, go stand in this queue. And then once you've stood in that queue, then maybe you get a stand in a different queue. There seems to be a lot of, like, sub queues. And that part I found very weird. Okay, so we got to fly on this, like, air cabin situation, which was a 2-minute ride. Which we, once again, had to get a little ticket from a machine. Then we had to take that ticket, and then we had to stand in a queue. Once again, I'm just saying, a lot of queuing. But I felt like this, which I definitely, I'm pretty sure I stole out of the in-flight magazine. By the way, in-flight magazines for travel journaling, real good hack. Because they always have, like, beautiful pictures of, usually, especially if you're flying on a national airline, if you're flying on a national airline, they'll usually have, like, beautiful pictures of the places you're going. Where can I put this where it will, like, kind of accurately capture? Should I find out what this says first? Anybody read Japanese well enough that they can tell me what this says? Tickets machines, yes, that I have experienced at the National Museum up in Ueno. Yeah, I like the ticket machines. We had to learn, actually, I hope that I saved this so that I can put it in the travel journal. Because to get the darn, to get our ticket for the transit museum, we had to, like, go to a convenience store and then use this special ticket machine, and then, like, it would give us a ticket just for this, and then we had to ride the train for, like, an hour and change to get to the ticket museum. But we, like, had to go to the convenience store, use this special machine, then take the receipt that machine gives us up to the cashier, pay for the ticket, then that ticket we handed to someone else. It's like, it seems like a lot, generally. Like, maybe too much. I like in-flight magazines too. I've never travel journaled though. Yeah, the in-flight magazines is like, nobody is going to be upset if you tear the crap out of them. So that's my hot tip for you. Nobody's going to care. I usually will, like, rip pages out when I'm on the plane. Whether or not I stuff it back in the pocket for someone else to discover that I've ripped pages out of it, or if I, like, leave it out so maybe the cleaning crew notices. Okay, so now where are we going to put this air cabin ticket? I don't want to block, because this, I feel like right here, this is Yokohama. It's got, like, I know these are floating in this one, but, like, these were flying machines, and then, like, these pedestrian walkways are all over Yokohama. it's just so much the vibes of Yokohama. Should I do a tip-in again? Have I done too many tip-ins? What do we think? Where can it go? Ghibli Museum in Tokyo is that way. You had to pick a day, time of day, and then had to go to Lawson to buy your ticket. Then you get yourself all the way out to the suburbs and try to hit the time. Yeah, I will say we actually were like quite a bit early for our time slot. I can't remember if it was 20 minutes or 40 minutes, but we were pretty early, and she looked at our ticket like twice and then was like, meh, and she let us go. So that was nice of her. Okay, I have this washi tape that is explicitly for the train line that is like right in Yokohama. So even though this doesn't really fit the vibes, maybe I should fit the vibes a little better. I was thinking I could use this, but I feel like it doesn't fit the vibes very well. This washi tape maybe fits the vibes better. I've never been able to get a Ghibli ticket less than a month in advance. We thought about trying to do the Ghibli, like their new Ghibli thing, which is like you walk through the woods and it's like a kind of more like an amusement park or something. We thought about trying to do it, and it was just like foreigners couldn't even buy them until for the first like 6 months that it was open, and it was very complicated and very competitive. And I mean, that's also why I couldn't get tickets for the figure skating nationals or the figure skating worlds when we were in Japan, because it was just it was very competitive, which is great. I'm happy to see that, because it means that people actually care about skating, unlike in the United States, where the stadium was like 2/3 empty for Olympians at our nationals. But it was like, it was just such a complicated system even to get tickets to watch people during practice. Yeah, I'm okay with that. It's got a little flip in. It's maybe a little over the top, because like is this really so beautiful that I can't cover it up with anything, but whatever. Okay, this was the very good place in Kamakura that we had delicious vegan food. Sounds labyrinthian. Yes, absolutely. Okay, Kenna asked a finance-related question. I'm getting us off our topic of just total fluff here. How do you pick a travel credit card? I am struggling to decide. This is one of the reasons I have some episodes on, and I think I've done a live stream on picking a travel card. The reason I don't dive into it too often where I give like exact recommendations is because, quite frankly, it is very complicated, I guess is the words I'm going to use, because you want to look for the sign-up bonuses that are happening at the time that you are ready to get one. And then there's a couple things you have to consider. So most of the really good rewards cards are Chase. Chase has this rule called 524, which means in the past 24 months, you cannot have opened accounts with more than 5 of any credit accounts. So if you've opened a credit card, even if it's not a travel rewards card, with more than 5 places in the past 24 months, you cannot get a Chase card. And because of the 524 rule, if you are interested in doing any kind of travel hacking, you want to get your Chase cards first. So it really, there's a couple things to consider. One, what kind of perks are you going for? Like if you are someone who lives somewhere where you have Southwest Airlines, for example, or Alaska, then, and you are interested in what is called a companion pass, never enough from the, so yeah, if you are someone that can use what is a companion pass, so Southwest has this thing where you can essentially have someone fly for free with you if you've got certain cards, if you earn enough miles. I'm not in a Southwest hub, so and Southwest doesn't fly places for me, but like if you live in the West, the Southwest of the US, then that could be a really good aim for you, and you're often needing to fly with another person. For me, Alaska, which Portland is a hub for, is also has a companion pass, which is essentially, it's not as generous as Southwest's, but what it is it allows you to, for just like $100 plus the taxes, so like 122, I think now, you can get a second person on a round trip itinerary in the United States for you. So it's very good if you have someone that you're going to fly with that will fly on the same itinerary with you and you're going somewhere in the US. I struggled to use my companion pass a lot of the time. And so I stopped having an Alaska card for that. But the main thing you need to like know is what you're aiming for. So know what airlines you want to fly with. So United is a great example for their travel rewards cards because United has a particular perk that is very good for me. United is great for flying to Asia. That's what I used on the points flying back from this most recent trip. I used Alaska points on the way out there. The United has this thing called the excursionist perk, which says that for no extra miles, you can essentially do a leg in the middle region for no extra points. So it's good if you want to, like, say, fly into Bangkok, take a train to Hong Kong, fly from Hong Kong to Tokyo, and then return from Tokyo to the United States, because it'll cost no extra points for that in-between bit. And it's so United is very good if you're the kind of person like me that likes to do a lot of train trips abroad. But it all comes down to, once again, the sign-up bonus. Those alternate. Right now, Alaska is doing a 70,000 sign-up points like bonus. And there will almost always be a minimum spend that you need to hit to get those. So you need to make sure that it is practical for you to hit that minimum spend. Generally, they'll be about $3,000 in 3 months, but some of them can be as much as $5,000 or $10,000, especially the business cards. Some will be $5,000 in 2 months, which is real tough for a lot of people to hit. Remember, these are minimum spend, means you will not get any of those points until you hit that spend on the credit card. And that needs to be expenses that you can put on your credit card. So usually it's a great opportunity if you are going to, if you have like a big tax bill that you can pay with a credit card, or, you know, you're going to buy something like a laptop or something like that, you're going to have a big chunk of a purchase, then that's a great opportunity to sign up for a new card. Then, so look up the sign-up bonuses. If you're curious about who's running the best sign-up bonuses, there is a subreddit that I use that has a big crowdsourced spreadsheet. It's called r/churning. And on the sidebar of that subreddit, they do have a list of all of the highest sign-up bonuses. It'll show you like the last time the sign-up bonus happened, and if there's a better link. Because sometimes, like, for example, my last Chase card that I signed up for, I went into the branch to sign up for it, because by going into the branch, I got the annual fee waived the first year. See, this is why I shy away from doing this, because I am like, there's so many ways in which this is complicated. And a lot of people are like, what's the best card? And I'm like, the best card completely depends on what you're spending money on, how much you're spending, and where you are planning to go. I do think that signing up for a travel airline card without knowing what your end goal of doing with those points is a bit of a flaw. You shouldn't just sign up for a card and be like, I'll get 50,000 miles and then I'll figure out what to do with them later. Do the research. Find out how much those miles can get you. The Points Guy is a very good website to research like the valuation of the different points to give you an idea how much that sign-up bonus is worth. And, you know, the Chase Sapphire Reserve is a card that a lot of people recommend when it has a high sign-up bonus. I had it for quite a long time. I got 100,000 points as my sign-up bonus, which is very high. And they are what are called third-party points. So rather than being tied to an airline, they are transferable to different travel partners. The thing about the Chase Sapphire Reserve, it has a $550 annual fee now. I no longer have that card. It gives you money back for things like signing up for, you get like $300 travel reimbursement credit a year. You get like, you know, Uber and DoorDash or something, like discounts and stuff like that. So that's one of those cases where the fringe benefits might save you a ton of money, but they're like, you need to consider if they're actually of value to you. Like getting Uber or Lyft, like Gold or whatever, was not valuable to me because I don't use Lyft all the time. So those are the main things. If you get really overwhelmed by all this and you're like, oh, I don't want to do a travel rewards card because this sounds like very complicated. Because one of the big things is you don't want to just be acquiring points. You need to be spending them on a fairly regular basis, which has been very hard the past couple years. And yeah, they devalue like a ton. So like if you get them and sign up and then you don't actually spend them, they often will become less and less valuable. Like it used to be that Alaska card gave you $50,000, 50,000 miles, not $50,000, 50,000 miles on sign up. And when I got it, I like was able to use that for round trip to Europe through Emirates on business class. That does not exist anymore. And you know, that like you can't find those fares anymore. So these points get constantly devalued. These programs constantly get revised. If you're too overwhelmed, you know what a great, awesome option is? This lovely place that we call cashback cards. So Chase Freedom Unlimited is one of the good Chase cashback cards. It'll just give you flat cashback. Discover has some flat cashback cards as well. It really depends on how you spend money, how much you can expect to spend. If you're someone like me that doesn't have a very high spend outside my rent, Japan notwithstanding, but even Japan wouldn't have put me over like the $3,000 spending limit. Like I think I spent about $1,200 in the 2 weeks I was in Japan, including that stupid $100 hotel I got in Denver. That was not worth it, just in case you were wondering. You know, if you're someone that has trouble meeting those minimum spends, you need to make sure that you plan it around being able to hit those spends, because there is no reason to take a hit to your credit and get one of these travel bonus cards that often do come with an annual fee for, you know, no benefit to you. Like you can't do much unless you have a very high spend. It is extremely hard to end up with a I'm going to take this Tokyo hands like out of here. It is extremely hard to end up with any kind of points that you can do anything from natural spend. The only way that you're going to end up with a ton of points from spending money on these travel cards and not from the sign up bonus is if you're someone that has like incredibly high natural spend. Like if you run a business and you spend $11,000 or $20,000 a quarter or something like that. Possum Planner had a good suggestion for this one, which is add a note to the back of the ticket. That's a great idea. Really good idea. Okay, so I've got this Yokohama. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to print out pictures that I have from here, and I'm going to put them like in this. I think that'll work well. I like this idea. Right? I think this is a good choice. All right. What else do we have here? Oh, there's this very cool train, like history of railway uniforms exhibit, but I haven't really figured out what I'm going to do from that yet. And then I have this other Yokohama sticker. I think this canceled one needs to go later if I'm going to like keep this travel journal in chronological order. I got ahead of myself, y'all. Doing a great job. Whoop. Okay. And then I think we need to eat this donut. What do you think? You know, I've been up since 3:30 and it's now 1 p.m. here, so Kenna, did that give you any help at all? My ranting, did that help at all? If you want to just look up what the best sign up bonuses are on a thing that's like a little more like the best current sign up bonuses, bankrate.com and the points guy will always have what the best sign up bonuses are. If you're trying to get points for a particular trip, or like a destination you regularly go, like let's say like you have family in India and so you regularly go back to India and you know that one of the main carriers you use to go to India is Delta. Then what you can do is, or let's just say you regularly go to India. What you can do is Google or look on the Points Guy website, and absolutely not at all sponsored or have any affiliation with the Points Guy website. But I do think that they do a good job of being approachable. So I need to get like more pictures. I need to have more room for pictures. But I'll put some pictures in here, and then I'm gonna do something with like where we stayed in there. But I have to print the pictures, which is why I'm not doing it right now. And then what other things do I have in my little book of horrors? This is something I bought, which I can't even remember anymore. Clothing? No, just like random tickets. So like, okay, so if you are someone that like regularly has to go to India, let's say, what you can do is you can either Google or look on the Points Guy website for like best ways to use points to get to India. And what it will bring you is there will be absolutely a ton of different, like it will have a bunch of different kind of various like methods, and usually they will tell you what the current sign up bonuses that will work for that are. So it like they will spell it out for you in a way where they'll be like, hey, you can use United points, and right now you can get United points by signing up with Chase Sapphire Reserve, and Chase Sapphire Reserve is a 1-to-1 transfer partner with United, and you can use United on these United will get you on these flights, and there's often availability. And they'll also address if like the thing that you want, like, I very coolly got to ride in business class Japan Airlines, where I had like a little sleeping pod on my way out. Really wish I had had that on my way home, given how stressful my way home turned out to be. But anyway, yeah, so you, like, if you're looking to do business class, like, you want to get that experience, but not pay $10,000 bazillion like it normally costs, then one of the things that you can do is look for that. But you really should want to know where you want to fly business class, or if you don't really care and you just, like, want the experience of flying, like, business or first class in one of these like super fancy airlines, then one of the things you can do is you can actually like take your you can like look for the type of airline and like find the best way to fly business class, what points are best for that airline. So a great example is I wanted to fly Emirates business class. And that's the reason I originally got the Alaska card, is because Emirates business class is like a legendary product among people that are like into fancy airline stuff, which is like, I don't know, I have environmental concerns about generally flying, and then you add in how much space you take up as a first or business class passenger, and it's but it is really fun and to do at least once before we absolutely get cut off, I'm sure, from all of the... I'm going to use the Shinjuku on this page, because this is a map of Shinjuku. So, should I like color that in or make it stand out a little bit more for the map? So yeah, those are kind of the things that you should look for. I know this is not the most helpful of feedback or whatever. I think so. I'm going on a trip to Portugal in 2 weeks, and I'm looking at other international trips this year. So yeah, what other international trips you're looking for? I would start with the trip, figure out what the best airline points to get you there are, and then figure out what the best card to get those points are. So once you've and the points guy, I would say, is a pretty decent place. There's also miles. Hold on, let me. What we think of the other website. Okay, so yeah, upgradedpoints.com is the other one I would recommend. So for example, if you are going to go to Portugal, you might be flying TAP, which is kind of their airline. So what you would want to do is find a way that you can get TAP points. And TAP Air Portugal Miles is a transfer partner with, I believe you can use them through the Chase portal, where you can actually book flights directly with the Chase ones, or you can use them with, I believe they are part of are they part of SkyTeam? Kenneth says, I thought about the Delta card, but they don't have many perks. Which Delta card were you looking at? Because you do have to weigh, is the annual fee forgiven the first year? And are you planning on canceling the card after the first year or holding on to it? Those are, the kind of questions that you have to kind of consider. Okay. This might be enough travel journaling for now. I don't think this pen is very exciting with this blue ink in it, but I'm happy to show you all what it looks like. This is the modeled after a train. So, yeah, there we go. That's what it looks like. Good point. Can you drop that second link in chat? So, the points guy is generally what I would recommend, and then the other one I would recommend is upgraded points. And so just search for the place that you want to go. That's what these guys do. Do remember that they all do get referral bonuses when you apply for cards. But generally they're not gonna recommend a card that's inferior to another card, because they're, the benefits to them are similar to the benefits to you. So, be aware that, yes, they are making money. All those websites make money off the referral bonuses, but I don't generally think that that is a conflict when it comes to this particular exercise, because you are also trying to get benefits off of points. Okay, we've cleared that up. I think that's, I'm not done, obviously. I also didn't want to sit and write out my day on this live stream, because I think that's pretty boring to watch. But you essentially just watch me paste a ton of stuff in here, and hopefully I'll catch up with the rest of this later. I do want to finish it before I forget what I'm doing, but I have to figure out how to print out photos well. I did not end up buying a little photo printer. By the way, it's my little strawberry charm for ambition, and you're supposed to carry it somewhere where you can see it. All right, it is time for the donut, because even though it's talking dough and eating donuts, and we didn't really talk about dough, I guess we did because of that question. You know, we're still going to eat a donut because we didn't get to eat one last week. So here we go. All right, so here is the donut. This is, this right here is a chamomile lemon old-fashioned donut. So it's a nice, like, hard old-fashioned one. Hopefully I don't ingest too much glue when I eat it because I have glue on my hands from the glue stick. But let's see how it goes. Aaron says, hope you like the donut, so this one is my fault. I think this is the one I'll probably like the most. Okay. It's got a very, like, lemony cake situation going on. It's like a coffee cake texture inside. But it tastes like lemon. It's very good. I'm not getting the chamomile at all yet. Possum Planner recommends CVS to print photos. My CVS does not have a photo printing place at all, but I have an insane amount of printers in this room, and if I cannot print photos physically in my house, then there's something wrong. This is very good. This is going to be highly rated. All right, I'm about to eat this like little piece of candied lemon. Amazing. It doesn't taste like a donut really at all. It tastes more like, is there a name for the genre of type of like pastry or cake that coffee cake is? Is this what a lemon cake looks like? Actually, like, is this kind of inside texture what a lemon cake looks like? Because I don't think I've ever had a lemon cake. But if so, this is, I mean, it's fantastic. It's just, this is really good. Aaron knocked it out of the park. I think Aaron probably got an old-fashioned because he knows I like those. But maybe not. Thank you very much, Aaron, for picking it up. Oh, the candied lemon. It's real candied lemon, so it's like got like a very tart taste in it. I think Eric is right. I think it is a quick bread. Possum Planner says, this donut looks amazing. Extra jealous because I can't chew anything right now. This would be a very bad donut if you are having chewing issues. My cousin Alyssa, while we were in Japan, had like a terrible medical scare and is now currently has a G-tube. And is apparently getting real into the how to feed herself on a liquid diet. So, my sympathies. It looks like the kind of cake texture we might have those small black seeds in, like poppy seeds. Yeah, it's kind of like muffiny. I think quick bread might be the name. Well, if you didn't guess, this is a 5 out of 5. This is seriously a 5 out of 5 donut. This is fantastic. A+. No feedback. Possum Planner says, I hope your cousin recovers soon. I'm on the liquid diet train too. Jaw surgery the other day. I'm sorry. I hope you also recover quickly. I hope the jaw surgery is to fix something that and it will now make your life better rather than make your life unexpectedly worse. Aaron is congratulating himself. That was pretty fantastic. You know, we didn't finish the travel journal. I will print some photos, and I will post them on my planner Instagram when I'm done. So if you aren't following Planomalily, like Anomalily, but Planomalily, that's probably where I'll post them. I am really enjoying this little cover. I'm kind of like, I'm into being a traveler's notebook girl now. You know, we're really teetering on the edge every day of me just becoming a stationery YouTuber. Screw the economics. However, I don't think I'm artistically inclined enough to be a very good planner YouTuber. So I'm not entirely sure. Kenna says, when does your OPP show start? It is started. I did it this morning. Weekend edition. I am now hosting Weekend edition. The features that I've produced, like a couple kind of shorter pieces that have been sprinkled in onto other OPB shows, but I am now hosting OPB Weekend edition on weekends. So I did that this morning I was there from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. And I will be like doing that Saturday and Sundays, and then the like journalism that I'm doing more than the hosting will hopefully be happening more on the Sundays. I'm currently working on that like right now. Aaron says, I might have bought a little photo printer. I will show you later. Seriously, I think I can see it from here, though. I think I'm looking at it from the desk now that you say that. But it is hard to see. Our house is not doing great, like, organizing cluttery-wise. And there is something to be said for the frustration of knowing that you're moving, but not knowing when. Because it's very demotivating on like decluttering and stuff like that, because it just keeps feeling like, well, we're gonna have to do that at some point. So I don't know. Possum Planner says nowhere to go but up. Oof. All right, sending you all the love and healing energy. And also says, Possum Planner says, I love that you do both stationery and economics. We need more of that in the planner community. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm like in the planner community because I'm not a very good planner YouTuber, but I guess I am kind of in the planner community. Oh, did people see this adorable decoration I got from Japan? It's all paper and it's like hanging cats on cherry blossoms. It now lives in the background until I figure out. It might move to my desk at work. I'm not entirely sure. I'm like going into an office now, y'all. It's weird. Craig says, I listened to the OPB stream this morning from Texas. Nice work. If you heard me screw up on the 7:19 break or the 9:59 break, no, you didn't. The pure cuteness. Mimi, I'm glad to see you. Thank you for tuning in. All right, y'all. Thank you all for joining. It's been lovely to have you. It is a rainy Sunday here, so it's nice to just get some like cool journaling in. You know, like hang out, just chill. It's my Friday night now because I worked this morning and I have Monday and Tuesday off. And then right before I jump back into my work week on Tuesday night, we are going to be talking about student loans. That is already up on the channel, so you can hit the like bell on that stream to get alerted. If you're not subscribed, you should subscribe. And if you don't want to rely on that, we have a where is it? I lost it. There we go. Text Crew. You can subscribe for SMS alerts. It's like not for spamming you. It's just because YouTube is not reliable. So you can just go to textcrew.ohmydollar.com. This works in North America, I believe. It definitely works for Canadian and US numbers. And if you go to that, I will shoot you like 2 text message reminders just to let you know we're streaming. Especially since the schedule is now changing. I know it's going to be hard to remember for a while. So, but it's been lovely. Thank you all. Nils says, hit the like, people. Thank you. A new bold one says, I need to win the lottery and go to Japan. Seriously. Here's the thing. It's really dangerous for buying stuff. As I can attest to. I don't know if you can tell. You all can tell, but like, I bought all this. I bought all these pens. I bought this like cute thing. And then I bought like this whole thing. It was a lot. I bought a lot of stuff, y'all. Like, look at all the cute things I got. I got so many cute things. So, I don't know. It's dangerous. And I don't necessarily recommend it if you want to save money. Look at the tiny Hello Kitty on the on the little streetcar from Kamakura from the temple. This is a little train charm. I mean, yes. I need to win this is why the lottery part. Yeah. Well, you should at least, use your miles if you acquire them. Kenna, if you have a specific question about miles, if you're still here, and you want to tell me, let me know. And otherwise, I will see you all next Tuesday, which is in 2 days. So I'll see you Tuesday night. We're going to talk about what's going on with student loan forgiveness because it's a lot. There are a lot of cases to follow, what's happening there. So we're kind of going to do an update about what you should be planning on if you're someone that is, worried about all of this. And until then, stay safe, stay hydrated, pet a cat if you have one available, and I will see you then. Or I'm going to keep vamping because there we go. What are we doing? Y'all, I lost my